day to all of you. I am Angeli Hervasio from BS Cream 1D, and today I and my classmates John Cody Singh, Dexter Laureano, and John K. Gonzalez will discuss the intellectual revolutions of the modern life. So, in intellectual revolutions, there are four theories that left us a huge impact into the modern science and into the modern life. Those are the Copernican Revolution, Darwinian Revolution, Freudian Revolution, and Computer Revolutions. Copernican Revolution is the shift in the field of astronomy from a geocentric understanding of the universe, centered around Earth. Copernican rejected the idea of Aristotle and Ptolemy that the Earth is the center of the solar system. So, ang main point ng Copernican Revolution ay hindi Earth ang center ng solar system, kundi ang Sun. That's why nireject ni Copernican Revolution ang idea ni Aristotle and ni Ptolemy na ang Earth daw ang center ng solar system. But before we start to know this theory, we must first know the timeline on how it is started. So first of all, Aristotle's idea is that he believed that the planets, including the Sun, orbited the Earth. So naniniwala si Aristotle na lahat ng planeta maliban sa Earth at kabilang yung Sun ay nag-orbit siya sa Earth. That's why he believed that the Earth is the center of the solar system. So, merong mga naging basis si Aristotle na sinasabi niyang magpapatunay na ang Earth is the center of the solar system. So, first is, Aristotle said that because of his observations, that means the Earth is not rotating to prove that the Earth is the center of the solar system. And aside from that, Aristotle said that when the ball throw up straight in the air, it doesn't land behind the thrower. So meaning to say, kapag hinagis mo ang bola pataas, yung bola na yon ay babagsak din dun sa taong naghagis nun, na sinasabi na dun mapapatunayan na ang Earth talaga ang center ng solar system. But after Aristotle give his ideas about the center of the solar system, one person came to give his idea on theory about the model of our solar system, and he is Aristarchus of Samos. So Aristarchus of Samos is an ancient Greek astronomer and mathematician who presented the first known heliocentric model that placed the Sun at the center of the known universe, with the Earth revolving around the Sun once a year and rotating about its axis once a day. So, si Aristarchus of Samos, siya yung astronomer na, unang astronomer na gumawa or nag-present ng heliocentric model which is ang idea or main point ay yung Sun ang center ng solar system at hindi yung Earth. There are some sources that Aristarchus made a geometrical measurement wherein we can see that the Sun and Moon is 20 times far from each other. That is why it is possible that the Earth is the center of the solar system. But no one believed in Aristarchus' idea because for them, there is no strong evidence that will prove Aristarchus' idea. That's why people still believe that the center of the solar system was the Earth. Until one mathematician astronomer came and gave his idea about the center of the solar system, and it is known as the geocentric theory, wherein it's just like Aristotle's idea that the center of the solar system was the Earth. Claudius' basis are the theory of the existing astronomers. That's why he said that Aristotle's idea about the center of the solar system is real. So he used his mathematical skills to develop his own model of the universe. So who is Claudius Ptolemy? Claudius Ptolemy is a mathematician, astronomer, geographer, astrologer, and music theorist who wrote about dozen scientific treatises. And he is known for geocentric model. So, what is geocentric model? Geocentric model is a theory of the structure of the solar system in which Earth is assumed to be at the center of it all. So yun nga, so yung geocentric model, ang main point niya is that Earth is the center of the solar system and not the sun. But as what I said earlier, geocentrism is almost the same with the idea of Aristotle that the Earth is the center of the solar system. So, walang pinagkaiba yung theory o yung idea ni Aristotle sa idea ni Ptolemy. Parang pinalawak o dinagdagan lang ni Ptolemy yung idea ni Aristotle. So, kaya sila magkaparehas lang. But at 1543, a Polish astronomer who named Nicolaus Copernicus proposed a revised model that the real center of the solar system was the sun. So who is Nicolaus Copernicus? So Nicolaus Copernicus is a Renaissance polymath, active as a mathematician, astronomer, and Catholic canon, who formulated a model of universe that placed the sun rather than Earth as its center. So, si Nicolaus Copernicus, siya naman yung bagong astronomer na nagdagdag or kumalap pa ng maraming ebidensya para mapatunayan yung idea ni Aristarchus of Samos, which is, yung idea na yon is yung main point ay sinasabi na sun ang center ng solar system at hindi yung Earth. But Nicolaus Copernicus believed in Aristarchus' idea that the Earth is not the center of the solar system. So he proposed that the Earth is a planet like Venus, Mercury, and all planets circled the Sun. Kaya, yun yung pinaniwalaan niya, yun yung hinanapan nila ng ebidensya para mapatunayan na Sun ang center ng solar system. So, pero hindi agad na-publish yung teorya na yon ni Nicolaus Copernicus dahil nga sa takot niya na baka masintensyahan siya ng kamatayan dahil ang kinakalaban niya ay paniniwala ng simbahan, ganon. Kasi dati sa kanila, nung mga panahon nila, pag kinalaban mo yung turo o yung aral ng isang relihiyon, may posibilidad na ikaw ay masintensyahan ng kamatayan. Pero meron pa ding mga nagsasabi na patuloy pa din na ginagawa ang pagtuturo na ibinigay o yung pagtuturo ng konsepto na ibinigay ni Copernicus sa mga tao. Pero dahil nga against ang relihiyon doon, inakusahan ng mga relihiyon na hindi totoo yung konsepto, hindi totoo yung konsepto na ginawa ni Nicolaus Copernicus. But it became revolutionary because it became an inspiration to other astronomers to continue studying about outer space just like the solar system. So isa 'yon sa naging ambag niya sa modern science. Dahil din sa mga idea na to, parang nagkaroon ng idea or nagkaroon pa ng interest yung ibang astronomer para pag-aralan pa, para palawakin pa yung kaalaman ng mga tao pagdating sa mga bagay na nasa itaas or sa ating solar system. So dahil nga sa idea nila Copernicus, nila Aristarchus, ni Ptolemy, ni Aristotle, nagkaroon pa ng idea sina Kepler, Galileo at Newton para patuloy na pag-aralan. Patuloy na pag-aralan kung ano nga ba ang totoo, kung ano nga ba ang totoong meron sa ating universe at sa ating solar system. So dahil nga dun sa mga astronomers na yon na nagbigay ng kanilang mga idea, naging isang magandang challenge to para sa lahat ng tao. Dahil nga, Nagbigay ito ng bagong muka sa mundo ng astronomical science. Pero, sinasabi dito na hindi dapat basta-basta nagaganap o nangyayari ang mga ganong bagay sa larangan ng science. Kasi nga, there are a lot of twists bago mo maisakatuparan at bago mo ma-formalize konsepto o idea. Kaya yon ang naging inspirasyon ng mga makabagong astronomer sa panahon ngayon. That is the Copernican Revolution. And now let's move on to the Darwinian Revolution will be discussed by John Paul Lessing.
Darwinian theory revolution is there a biological evolution development by the English naturalist Charles Darwin in 1809 to 1802, and another stating that all species of the organisms rise and the development through the natural selection or small intested variation that increase the individual's ability to compute, survive, and produce. Also cancel the Darwin theory. The originally include the broad concept of transmutation of species of the evolution, which general scientific acceptance after Darwin published on the origin of species in 1859, including concept which producer Darwin's theory. English biologist Thomas Henry Huxley coined the term Darwin's in April 1860. Charles Darwin was English biologist, naturalist, and geologist. She best known from the theory of evolution. She's theory in the research of natural selection. Charles Darwin worked on the origin of species as a scientist. Darwin focused on the facts and observation she gathered on the evidence and discussed of the spiritual religion and his work. According to Darwinian revolution, so is the said that life was or life come from us a single cell organism and the mutated nagproduce ng upward ng several future, and then nagfirst ganyan, nagkaroon ng first plant, first cell, animal, and then na-produce ang apes, and through the apes na-produce daw ang human through evolution. And then the Darwin general theory representation the development of life from non-life and stresses purely naturalistic distinct with modification. Kumbaga, from non-living things, nagkaroon ng spontaneous generation or spontaneous communication of non-living things. From it, for example, carbon dioxide, interaction carbon dioxide. Nagkaroon ng interaction because of the same external factors like the kidlat, kasi 'di ba at the first place yung earth is a hot mantle rock. Punong-puno ito ng storm kasi dahil sa interaction niya at yung mga non-living things nagkaroon ng spontaneous um, accumulation. Naging living things at naging first single cell, and then nag-evolve, nag-produce ng first plant, first animals, and first cell, at ang huli first animal cells. Kaya doon lang, and that is Darwin revolution. And now let's move on to the Phrygian. We will discuss by Dexter Floriano.
Here is my explanation about Freudian. What is Freudian revolution? A term referring to Sigmund Freud ideas or methods, particularly his theories on how people's hidden thoughts and feelings influence their behavior, particularly in relationship to the origins and treatment of neurotic and psychopathic states, dream interpretation, and so on. Freud's revolution may be viewed as the discovery of a way of locating in the mind objective entities which can be studied like a physical things. Sigmund Freud was the first psychoanalyst and a great pioneer in understanding the significance of unconscious mental activity. Most schools of psychological thought now embrace his beliefs on the inner workings of the human, which were revolutionary at the turn of the century. Why as well effectively? Freud believed that events in our childhood had a great influence on our adult lives, shaping our personality. For example, anxiety resulting from traumatic experience in a person's history is hidden from unconscious and might produce problems later in life. And here is also my view about ID, ego, superego. The ID, ego, and superego are a set of three concepts in psychoanalytic theory describing these distinct interacting agents in the psychic apparatus, and the three agents are theoretical constructs that describe the activities and interactions of the mental life of a person. According to Sigmund Freud, the ego is the psychological component of the personality that is represented by our conscious decision-making process. The ego is controlled by the reality, which is the idea that desires of the ID must be satisfied in a method that is both socially appropriate and realistic. Example, Jack is walking down the street and he is very hungry. He only has an ID, so when he sees an apple pie cooling in a window, he takes it for himself. The superego is our moral principles and ethics. The ego is the moderator between the ego and the superego. Famed psychoanalyst Sigmund Freud believed that behavior and personality were derived from the constant and unique interaction of conflicting psychological forces that operate at three different levels of awareness: the preconscious, conscious, and unconscious. That is my report of Freudian term.
Many say that the evolution of the computer began with the different methods of its discovery. It started in the 1960s. It is what changed our world because it was one of the businesses. Maybe without the invention of this computer would not be so this revolution will progress. So it continued to be enjoyed that year. Maybe it had something good to help every person at that time, even today. Since the advent of the modern computer that year, it has greatly helped various businesses and communication companies around the world with this invention. Perhaps the employees then at the company were using it so that their knowledge or education and productivity matters. And also, a computer is something that provides information on anything you want to know or discover. It performs various calculations that a normal person cannot do. It has the ability to be more human-friendly. It is widely used in modern society to balance the system for the other countries. This involves other devices such as cell phones and tablets. In addition, the shocking creation in this matter, it has artificial intelligence based on the scientists. They assume that the computer can solve anything that wants to know or something that is a problem because of its ownership. Intelligence of this invention. Well, batay sa aming pananaliksik, ang modernong computer daw ay nagmula o naimbento noong 1960s. Isa ito sa mga pinagkakitaan noon. Business, kumbaga. Well, isa din ito sa mga magandang negosyo noon. Marahil ito'y lubos na nakatutulong sa bawat tao, maging sa buong mundo. Then, ito din yung nagsisilbing isa sa mga mahalagang bagay noon. Maging sa panahon natin ngayon. And, halimbawa na lamang ay yung transportasyon ng mga mensahe gamit ang modernong computer. Marahil, ito ay isang pangmalawakang gamit na kahit ikaw ay malayo man sa iyong kausap, meron ka pa din pagkakataon upang makausap ito gamit ang teknolohiyang ito. Bukod pa dito, ito'y siya ding nagbibigay ng sapat na kaalaman sa bawat gumagamit nito. Marahil dito, natutunan ng mga bagay-bagay na hindi pa gaanong alam o natutuklasan.
And that's all for today. Thank you for listening.